You ever get kicked out of your own house by someone who doesn't even own the land? Because I have. And I wish I could say that was the craziest part. So picture this: I pull up to my late uncle's cabin after a 22-hour drive, dog in the passenger seat, a couple duffel bags in the back, and this overwhelming sense of, I don't know, coming home, maybe. I hadn't been up to Hazel Lake since I was a kid, but that little cedar cabin. It was burned into my memory like a postcard. Smelled like pine, creaked in all the right places. That cabin was peace. Then, as I'm stepping out, not 2 minutes in, this woman in yoga pants and a blazer, phone glued to her ear, comes marching across the gravel like she's storming Normandy. I see him now, she says, not even trying to whisper. Yes, the squatter. He's here. Next thing I know, a sheriff's deputy is standing at my bumper with a clipboard and a tired look on his face, telling me I need to vacate because there's a complaint from the HOA. Now, I've been deployed in 3 countries, and I've seen some wild things, but getting evicted from my own inheritance by a woman named Janice in a tennis skirt. That's a new one. Let me back up a sec. My uncle, Ray, was a Vietnam vet, quiet guy, used to say more with a head nod than most people do with full sentences. Built that cabin with his bare hands. Never married, no kids, but he always said I was like the son he never had. When he passed, he left me the cabin free and clear, no mortgage, no strings. Just a letter that said, make something of it. So I came back, figured I'd fix it up, live out here a while, maybe even stay for good. But Hazel Lake had changed. See, it used to be fishermen, retirees, people who knew the sound of an outboard motor and waved whether they liked you or not. Now, it's designer mailboxes, Range Rovers, and folks who treat their dogs better than their neighbors. Somewhere along the way, they started calling it Hazel Lake Estates. Yeah. Estates. And leading the charge. Janice Hollowell, HOA president, realtor, and full-time tyrant in a cashmere wrap. She hated me on sight. First, it was the welcome letter, if you can call a 6-page violation notice welcome. Said my dog was visually inconsistent, my siding was non-compliant, and my dog, a golden retriever named Buck, was over the approved weight limit. I laughed. Thought it was a mistake. It wasn't. Turns out, Janice had been trying to buy the cabin for years, made Ray 3 separate offers. He never bit. But I guess she figured once he was gone, the place was up for grabs. Only problem. I had the deed, and that deed said nothing about an HOA. Ray's land was grandfathered in. But long before the HOA was ever formed. No dues, no covenants, no say from Janice or her little clipboard mafia. Legally, I didn't owe them a dime. But Janice didn't care about legal. She cared about control. She started small. Letters taped to my door. Reminders. Then came the fines, fake, of course, but annoying as hell. Every week, something new: unapproved gardening, unauthorized dog maintenance, alleged noise complaints, even though the only noise on my side of the lake was frogs and the occasional owl. Then it got personal. She filed a complaint with the county claiming I was living there illegally, or called it an abandoned structure. Sent a building inspector to harass me. The guy showed up 3 times in 1 week, tried to red tag my cabin for structural violations. But I had receipts. I had Ray's will, the deed, county zoning documents, all clean. So I pushed back. Filed for more challenges. Sent my own letters. Even brought in a lawyer friend from the VA. And when Janice realized she couldn't beat me with fines or red tape, she got creative. I came home one night, front steps were ripped off. Like, physically gone. Screws still sticking out the frame like pulled teeth. My mailbox. Smashed. Motion sensor cameras. Dead. And right there, in fresh spray paint across the front of the cabin, a no trespassing HOA property. It took everything in me not to lose it. But I didn't. I documented everything. Every letter. Every voicemail. Every passive-aggressive email that ended with "best regards." And then I went hunting. I pulled HOA records, public documents, county audits, and that's when it got interesting. Turns out, Janice had awarded over $250,000 in emergency improvement contracts to a company run by her brother-in-law. Landscaping, fencing, lakeside lighting, most of which never happened. But the checks cashed. And guess who signed off on all of it? Yeah. That happened. So I leaked it anonymously, of course, to a local watchdog blog that loves this kind of petty drama. Within a week, the story blew up. HOA corruption, favoritism, possible fraud. The comment section alone was enough to start a civil war. The homeowners stand fast. People who never said a word to me before started showing up with coffee, offering help with repairs, asking questions. Turns out, Janice had pissed off a lot more folks than just me, but no one had stood up until now. At the next HOA meeting, which I made damn sure to attend, she tried to kick me out. Said I wasn't a member. So I stood up, showed them my deed, read the grandfather clause out loud, and then pulled out a projector. Yeah. A projector. Slide 1, a timeline of HOA payments to her brother-in-law. Slide 2, screenshots of her emails threatening me with consequences. Slide 3. A video clip from my trail cam, Janice herself, yanking out my mailbox like she was stealing copper. The room went dead silent. Then someone started clapping. I didn't look to see who. Within a month, she resigned, for personal reasons. Her little empire crumbled. And me. Well, I rebuilt the front steps, added a porch swing, and planted tomatoes just to spite her. Every morning I sit out there with book, coffee in hand, watching the lake shimmer like it used to when I was 10, peaceful, still, mine again. But here's the thing. Even after everything, I still get mail addressed to current occupant HOA notice. Like they are still trying to pretend I don't exist. So let me ask you something. If someone tried to erase your history, your family, just for the sake of property values, what would you do? Was I petty? Maybe. Was I right? Damn straight. But justice doesn't always come in the form of lawsuit and speeches. Sometimes it's just a man, his dog, and a porch that no one can take from him. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I know I'm not the only one who's had a run-in with an HOA that forgot what the H actually stands for. Because at the end of the day, home. It's not just where you live. It's what you fight for.